Let's do a little mini class. Let's start with a warm up. Let's get some arms going first of all, and let's roll backwards with the arms. Let's get them really moving there as well. Let's bring one in front and one behind. Lovely. Good. Shoulders back and shoulders forward. Good. And hands out to the side. We make some big circles. And I want you to go a little bit smaller now. Keep the arms straight. Don't stop. Keep going. And back the other way, change direction, nice, small. A little bit of tension in the shoulders and in the neck. A bit bigger, and now relax. Just get those shoulders moving again, and forward, and back. Good. So from here, feet shoulder width apart, hip rotations, legs straight, head still, 3 one way, and 3 back round to the other. That's great. Good. And from there, what we do is we're going to go a little bit wider. And we're just going to put a tiny bit of stretch forward. Keep the legs straight, push forward with the hips. That's great. Just come back to the center. Bending from the hips, keep the hips almost like a hinge. Legs nice and straight. We're going to stretch forward only a little bit, not a big stretch, just a little bit of mobility here. Back again slightly. And forward slightly. Good. Over to the side. We'll just bring this hand in, we're going to the left. Left hand goes on the left thigh. Don't need to bring the hand over if you know that stretch. Just gently, and again, just gently stretch the back out, only a little bit, okay? Shouldn't be anything there that's uncomfortable for you. Good. Shorten that stance now, interlock the fingers, keep the head looking forward. Nice relaxed rotations. Get that body twisting. Let the arms go a little bit now. Now let the head go. So we're going to increase the stretch. Try and keep the feet where they are if you can. Good. From that position there, we're going to get you to bring your feet together. Bend the knees. We're going to encircle the knees. We're going to go round 1 and 2 and 3. Back the other way. 1 and 2 and 3. And back the other way. Ready? 1 and 2 and 3. And back the other way. And 1 and 2 and 3. Feet shoulder width apart. We're going to drop down into vertical squats. Just 5. Let's go nice and low, low as you can get. I always just bring my hands as a focal point of balance in front of me. 1 more. That's great. Good. Just going to flick the heels up behind. Just turn so you can see me. That's it. So you can try and hit your hand. You're not going to hit it hard. Good. This time bring the legs up. Good. Great. Now this time a little bit of a different little stretch exercise warm-up technique. A little bit of rotation. So I'm going to put my left hand towards my left leg. If you want to do the right, do the right. From here we're just going to take the leg on the opposite side and just twist and try and touch it. Doesn't have to be a touch. Get close. And then the other side. Just a little bit of a hip twist. Try and keep the hands, I know it's tempting to drop the hands back. I do it. See if you can get the body to twist. Good. Taking the legs diagonally across. So that's right leg to left hand. And the left leg to the right hand, taking them across. See if you can extend that. And that's it. Now we're going to circle outwards. Again, if you're struggling with any of those, you can just keep it simple by just doing a raise up and down. There we go. Keep going. Good. Now from there, just pushing the front kicks out, nice and relaxed. Don't even need a guard position, it's just a little warm-up exercise. There we go. Keep pushing. Good, we're going to side jumping jacks. You can do 5, keep you moving. Do 1 more. Good, forward jumping jacks. See if you can change now. So you can keep the legs going forward, but the hands to the side. Now I'm going to give you a really hard challenge now. See if you can suddenly change it to legs to the side and the hands forward. I'm also distracting you from how many you're doing. Let's do one more. Good. Let's do some lessons. So we're going to do a little blocking, striking or counter strike routine. It's obviously more about a little practice of these techniques and a little bit of a fitness session. I want you to follow it as best you can. If some of these moves are new to you, just have a look, have a go. Don't worry if anything's difficult. I'm going to start with something more basic and build up to something more advanced. So what we do from here, from guard position here, I'm going to get you bouncing on the spot for this just to keep you warmed up. I'm now going to ask you to perform either a low inwards block followed on with a punch from the back. If you're quite new to blocking and obviously don't know these blocks yet, you should, because we normally do these as the very first lesson. But in case you've forgotten them, look back, there is a video in the system looking at the inwards blocks. So low inwards, middle inwards and high inwards. Once we've done the block, just put a little basic punch off the back, counter punch. Middle block, punch and high block. I'm just going to say high, middle or low, and I want you to work the 3 basic blocks with the 3 basic punches as a little warm-up exercise, okay? Back to go to spots, ready, low section. Good, and middle section. And high section. Keep bouncing. Middle. Low. Middle, back to guard each time. High. Middle. Low. High. Middle. And again, your choice with the punching. If you want to put the punches, jump change by the way. If you want to put the punches with the height, high, middle and low, that's fine. Or if you just want to put each time the punch right in the middle, you can do that as well. Back to a bounce. So again from here, low and middle and high. Okay? Here we go. So ready, low. Good, middle and high and low and middle and low and high and middle and low and middle and low and high and middle and low. Good. Hopefully a little bit warmer. Let's move on to the next thing. Okay, so we can now stop the bouncing for this next bit. Hopefully you're now warmed up. So we're now going to have a look at using the single-handed blocks again. But this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to quickly, well, before we do actually, let me just remind you of the 8 basic blocks. We've got the 3 inwards blocks, low inwards, middle inwards and high inwards, and again there's a video on that. There's the 3 outwards blocks, just a single-handed one, getting the body twist, high, middle and low, going outwards, blocking a big turning kick or a big inwards punch from the curve, coming from the outside to the inside. It's also the rising block and the downwards block, 8 basic blocks to block anything coming around the outside, high, middle or low, anything coming through the middle, or anything coming down or anything coming up. There's 8 directions of attack, so we have 8 blocks to block those 8 directions of attack. So what I'm going to do this time, and all I'm going to do is perform the technique. I'll give you a little gap in between each block to see if you got those right. We don't need to bounce. This is a little memory exercise, slightly more advanced. Please follow along as best you can. Okay, so from guard position here, I'll perform one of the 8 blocks with a counter punch. I want to see how you manage it. Okay, ready? Again, I'm going to slow them down just so you can see what I'm doing. Try and copy. So it's a reaction exercise more than anything else. A memory exercise as a bonus. Good, straight on the other side. No, it's not easy to follow. Have another go. So ready, we've got the 3 outwards blocks. From here, we've got the rising block, we've got the downwards block, and the 3 inwards blocks. And don't forget the counter punch afterwards. Ready? If you're struggling to get the punch in, just do the blocks. Good, and relax. Let's try taking that to the next level. Okay, so this time we're going to have a look at all the blocks, but this time we're double-handed. So this is a kind of double-handed workout as well. So very simply, we have the 8 basic blocks, low, middle and high inwards. The 3 outwards blocks. Remember, there's a separate video on all of these blocks. 3 outward blocks, the rising block and the downward block. 8 directions of attack, 8 blocks for those 8 directions of attack. Depending on, doesn't really matter sort of what the weapon it is that's coming against you, a foot, a hand, some kind of weapon, a bat, baseball bat, some kind of stick. But what we need to do is make sure we have those 8 basic exercises, those 8 basic blocks in our heads, and making sure that they're secure there, because in case we ever have to use them, they need to be there very unconsciously. So lots of practice with these. So here we go, we're going to have a look at the basic 3 inwards blocks first. And all we're going to do is add on the second hand. There is a small video that talks more about the double-handed blocks, but I'm going to do a quick recap here, because this is more of a practice class than it is about learning brand new techniques. So for some, this will be also a learning class as well. Here's the 2 rules we're using both hands, and what we're looking to do is simply back up that first block. We already know that block, the low inwards for example. We're just going to back it up with a second hand to reinforce it for big attacks, big powerful attacks. We'll make sure, rule number 1, there's roughly your own hand gap in between. That's rule number 1. Close together on top of each other, you might as well just use one hand. Okay, so it's about leverage. Okay, more, hopefully more distance between the hands will give you a better blocking tool, and hopefully give you more strength against their attack. The other thing is the hands never cross over. So here's our low inwards. So the other hand just runs side by side. So you can imagine almost that your wrists are somehow stuck together like that. So every block that we do, the 2 hands work together, like so. Apart from that one and that one, where the hands will turn this way around, doesn't actually matter which way around. And we're going to bring both hands into play there. Normally though, just as a very quick tip here, if you're doing the downwards block, the main blocking arm, which is the front hand, is furthest towards, or closest towards the person furthest from you. There, you can do it the other way around as well. And from here, we just go up and we do it with the rising block. So this time the rising block, the actual front hand is there, this other second hand there is just in front there. So from this position here, we have the double-handed downwards block, the double-handed rising block, the low double-handed inwards, middle double-handed inwards, high double-handed inwards, the low outwards block with both hands. See how I've really got to turn that shoulder to get this hand through. That's the middle outwards and the high outwards. What I'm going to do now is I'm going to slow these blocks down a little bit, and I'm going to go through with them. I'm going to mix them all up. I'm going to say the block first and see how you react, see how you copy. This is more advanced, so again, lower grades, follow along as best you can. So remember, hands gap in between, don't let them cross over, and the only time that the hands are not side by side is when they go in the opposite directions, the rising block and downwards block, okay? So let's start with that downwards block. Ready? Downwards block and back to guard. Go nice and slow so you can copy me. Rising block and back to guard. Low outwards block and back to guard. Low inwards block, get a bit of body twist there and back to guard. Middle inwards block and back to guard. High outwards block, back to guard. Sorry, that was middle. Middle outwards block. High inwards block. High outwards block. Let's go through that routine again. So let's do the double-handed downwards, double-handed rising. Let's go low inwards and low outwards. Middle inwards, middle outwards, high inwards and high outwards and back to guard. Let's go through it again. Just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. One more time, let's go through it again. We'll practice on the other side. Okay, this is a way in which you can get a little 8-piece sequence together, a little set, a little pattern that you can practice to help you remember all your double-handed blocks, okay? So it's downwards, 1, rising, 2, low inwards, first, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm using my body twist, 7, 8, and back to guard. Jump change, we'll turn it around a little bit so you can, I'll come back a little bit because you probably can't see most of those rising blocks. We are limited for space, so again from here, we'll start with the downwards. Double-handed downwards, 1, make sure it's in the middle, not too far across to the sides. Double-handed rising, 2, again, not too far back, not too far forward. So it's low inwards and low outwards. Middle inwards, middle outwards, high inwards and high outwards. Let's go through that again. So it's 1 and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. If you can, try to keep the feet fairly short here, don't have too big a stance, you'll be harder to twist. I'll quickly show you how it looks in this position here. So it's 1 and 2, and it's going to be 3 for the inwards, 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. Get that body twist, keep the stance short. Let's go again from that position there, let's go a little bit quicker. So it's 1 and 2, 3 and 4, 5 and 6, 7 and 8. Let's jump change again. Let's make it a little bit more random this time. I'll say the block, see if you can copy. Downwards, back to go. Rising, middle inwards, back to go. High outwards, high inwards, downwards, low outwards, get the body twist. Middle inwards, middle outwards, rising block, downwards block. Quick go on the other side, so quick jump change, rising block, low inwards, low outwards, middle inwards, middle outwards, rising block, downwards block, low inwards block, middle outwards block, middle inwards block, downwards block, rising block. Just test you at the end, see how you get on. So there's our double-handed blocks. There's hopefully a little clearer on the 8 blocks that we do. The fact we double them up to give extra support. There's a hands gap in between. They do not cross over. And there's an 8-piece sequence you can practice in your own time that allows you to get those blocks in your head. You can also practice them, if you wish, downwards, rising, low inwards, low outwards, middle inwards, middle outwards, high inwards, high outwards. You can also practice them for the single blocks as well. Hope you found that useful. Thank you very much. I'm now going to say simply high, middle or low. Now let me just cover this for you so we know which of the 8 blocks go in which direction, whether they're high section, middle section or low section. Most are fairly obvious. There are 3 low section blocks. One is a low inwards block. In fact, I'll show you from here, it might be a bit clearer. Low inwards block, we've got a low outwards block, and we have a downwards block. So that's going to be blocking pretty much anything from here downwards. We also have a double-handed version of those as well. So we have a double-handed downwards block, a double-handed outwards low section block, and a double-handed low inwards moving block there. So low outwards block, low inwards block, and a downwards block. We also have just 2 middle section blocks, though this downwards block can come a little bit higher. Should the side kick or a front kick go a little bit higher, it can block more middle section, so it's flexible. But the 2 main ones are the middle inwards block and the middle outwards block. Very little shoulder movement with these, a lot of body movement if you can. Don't forget we've got double-handed as well. Again, just watch, instead avoid those elbows coming up, try and keep them down nice and tight. So middle inwards and middle outwards are 2 main middle section blocks. High section we have 3, so we have 3 low, just 2 in there in the middle and 3 high. The 3 high section blocks we have a high inwards block, high outwards block, and again single-handed or double-handed, and of course then the rising block. Okay, they're the 8 blocks. We have single-handed, double-handed blocks, So in total 16 blocks, but 8 directions of blocking. So in guard position there, what we're going to do here now is I'm just going to say low, middle or high, okay? And I want to see if you can now decide which of the blocks you'd like to do. So if I say, for example, low section, you now have a choice. You can do double-handed outwards block, double-handed inwards block, downward block. You can also do any of the single-handed as well. So you've got 6 blocks to choose from as long as it's low section. Let's say middle section again, you have the single and the double-handed blocks to choose from. You might even want to try one of the downwards blocks, but come a little bit higher. It does still work. We also have 3 high blocks, 1, 2 and 3 with the double-handed, and 3 high section with the single-handed. So you've got, in theory, 6 possible blocks high section, which is there and above. You've got 4 middle section and 6 below, single and double-handed. Hopefully that hasn't got too confusing. What we're going to do from here is I'm just going to get you to mix up, and I'm also going to get you to move with these blocks in a minute as well. So from that position there, I'm just going to ask you now to say low section. So again, it's your choice of block. I just want you to react as fast as you can. Middle section, high section, low section, high section, middle section, middle section. Mix it up between the single and the double-handed lower grades. You might like to just try the single-handed. Downwards, low section, high section, middle section, middle section. Try and mix it up. More variety the better. Low section, low section, low section, high section, high section, high section, low section. Jump change, good. Let's try on the other side. So again, give you a bit more room. I appreciate, because we're tight on space, you may not see all of those higher blocks from there. Low section, low section, low section, high section, high section, high section. Black belts, go as fast as you can. Middle section, middle section, low section, low section, high section, low section, low section. Good. Jump change again. I'm now going to perform them high, middle or low. I'm going to go to moderate speed, and I want to see if you can just react with what we're doing. So from this guard position here, see now if you can just follow me, and I'm going to see if you can get to do the blocks almost at the same time as me. See the block and try and react as fast as you can. The idea of that is you see me make the movement as if I'm about to punch, and your reaction should follow almost a split second afterwards. Okay, so I'm not going to say the movements now, I'm just going to perform them. High, middle or low, and there'll be either single-handed or double-handed blocks. See if you can copy with the exact block. Get the body twist. Don't forget the body twist back to guard. Good, jump change. I'll come back again so you can see those higher blocks. So from here again, single or double-handed, low, middle or high. See if you can try and copy the exact block I do, middle or low or high. Cheeky one off the back arm there. Slight variation on that one, by the way. There are, just to confuse you a little bit further, there's your main block for double-handed, but depending on your angle, you can also bring the hand into a second position there. You can also turn it the opposite way as well. So, just to confuse you, okay? There's variations of the riser block. Good. Let's move on to one final exercise. Welcome back. So this is our last, more advanced exercise. I appreciate some of this will be probably beyond quite a few beginners. But look, have a look, start at the beginning, look at some of the basic stuff. I've hopefully made it available for some lower grades, some intermediate grades, and also some higher grades as well. So what we're going to look at now is actually moving with some of these blocks, because in reality, when we're fighting somebody, we're unlikely to be standing on the spot, we're going to be moving. And with blocking, we need to make sure we can block going forward as we go in towards an attack. So we block and we come forward and we go in for the attack, but also at the same time, and probably more commonly, we have to block backwards. How do we move? Let me show you this foot movement and how we move. So we try to avoid stepping. It takes too long as a defense move. If someone's coming at you fast and hard with kicks and punches, the last thing you want to try to do is try and step. It takes too long. We've got to do a shuffle. How do we do this? Well, very simply, if we're going to go backwards, we simply move the front foot and then we move the back foot like so. Let me show you that a little bit quicker. So it's a quick movement. So we're shuffling, okay? It's a shuffle. You might like to practice this one in your own time. I'm just going to show you how it's done. I'm not going to do any big exercise on this, but I'm going to leave you with a little routine I'd like you to practice at home. You'll need more time for this, and this will take up too much video time. I'll do a demonstration, but I want you to do the exercises and routines at home. So how do we do it? This is probably the most common way. You can do more of a foot to foot, a bigger movement to get further back or move forward quicker. But this time what we do is we're just simply going to do a half step. So you move halfway towards your back foot, and then you push off this leg a little bit and you move back. You can even slide a little bit to give yourself a bit more distance. So it's foot, foot. See how it's done. Foot, foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, I've got long legs, so I'm almost pretty much coming back to the foot here, stepping there. You can do it shorter. You can do a much shorter step, so you might like to try some big steps, foot to foot, forward and back, and you may also like to try some shorter steps, some short shuffles. These short movements allow you to move very fast towards your opponent, and it also allows you to move away from your opponent very fast too, which is probably quite a good idea if they're a good fighter. So what we do from this is, and you can do this with a lot of different techniques, the punches and the kicks as well to some degree. That will be another lesson, but let's look at the blocks. So this is what I'm going to recommend you try at home. We're going to have a little routine now. I'm going to get you to practice blocking forward and blocking backwards with your single and your double-handed blocks. So we're going to do a little push. I'm going to show you from the side how that looks, and I'm going to slow it down. So we do a little step, hands start to come into position here, and as we slide forward, we block. We do the same as we go back, step, block. So basically, as that final movement of the stance finishes, that final step, the block should finish at the same time. Definitely more advanced. Follow along this as best you can, even the high grades. So it's step and a block. It's a step and a block. Step and a block. Step and a block. Okay? Now to start with, let's go on to the single-handed movements here. And what we're going to do from here is I'm just going to get you to go forward and back with different blocks, okay? So here, let's go start with the first one. Let's do a little step and a choice block. Okay, any block you want, single-handed. Let's go backwards now and do a choice block. Don't forget to come back to guard quickly. Single-handed for the moment. Little step again and back to guard. Little step again. Little step again. Keep going forward. See if you can get the feet finishing together. Good. Try it on the other side. So again, just a quick demonstration from this side. It'll always, if you're going forward, the back leg starts. 1, 2. We're going backwards, the back leg moves. The front leg moves, sorry, towards the back. Okay? So it's 1, 2, 1, 2. One little tip here, the leg that steps first is the leg that's furthest from the direction you're going. That's the leg furthest from the direction I'm going. That's the leg that steps first. That one going that way. This is the leg furthest from that distance. Step. So again, step and block, step and block, step, block, step, block. Okay, obviously we'll be doing that a little bit quicker. So in reality, we'll be stepping down this way round. Again, to get a step, we'll be moving quickly from here. We need to move fast. So a little bit more advanced for higher grades there as well. So go from this side, right leg leading. So again, little step, choice block, single-handed only. Little step backwards, choice block, back to guard. Little step, little step, little step, little step, little step, little step, little step. Keep practicing all those blocks. Little step. I'm leaving the hand there a little bit longer than normal just so you can see what I'm doing. You just choose the blocks. One of the 8 basic blocks. Getting a step there. Good. Very quickly, practice that in your own time. Get that skill right. you really have now started to put the blocks into full practice in a real life fight situation. This time, if you can, try the double-handed blocks. So again, step, block. As the final foot falls into position, the block and the stance all finish together. So again, from here, here. As the final step, the last step, the second foot, as the stance finishes, the blocks finish as well. Okay? Left leg leading, guard position. And again, we're going to go backwards as well. I'm leaving the hands there so you can see them. Don't get back to guard quicker. Okay, back to guard quicker. But, again, black belt, see if you can speed it up. This is probably the most effective way, see if you can talk at the same time, most effective way to practice your advanced blocks. We've done a lot, okay? That also gets slightly more advanced again, but we won't do it in the video, where you do the step and a counter punch as well. So try that little basic step shuffle, once referred to me as a little crab shuffle. Okay, that's not from our freestyle program, but it is another martial arts that uses that phrase. But it's a very simple stepping system to allow you to move very fast towards an opponent in an attack and to move back from an opponent in a defense action. Hope you found that useful. Watch that a few times, that might need a bit of practice. Thank you.